John Tillman, seniors Lewis Dubick and Curtis Corley. Coach will start us off with a statement and we'll open to questions. Coach?
Sure. Certainly proud of our guys to find a way against a really good team. And as I mentioned to Coach Nadel at the end, like these are the games, especially at the end of the year. It's hard to see either team lose. Couldn't have been more impressed with Towson. As you know, as everybody is advertised, as everybody talked about, a terrific team. You know, we just had to kind of battle all day, and I'm proud of our guys. We hadn't responded real well the last couple weeks when things didn't go well, and I felt like today that was a huge difference for us when we went down 7-3, the ability to kind of hang in there and fight and get the next play, and that was huge for us.
Questions? Eric?
Coach, Kyle Long's kind of been teetering between first and second midfield line. Today he's on the first. What'd you see as far as matchups that made you want to put him there, and then what'd you see from his play today?
You know, that is always the tough thing. You got a young guy in there, and you see the potential, yet you have, and for a while this year we played Will Snyder, and Will's done a good job for us, and it's comforting to have his experience. But again, what makes this team special is the guys and the character of the guys in it. One of the things that we talked about in the off week, and Will's such an unselfish guy. Will's like, I think Kyle should go to the first line, I'll go to the second line. And we did that a decent amount late in Rutgers, and we did it at Ohio State. And we were better with our white group, which is Christian Zawadzki, and a lot of times Russ Massey in there as well. And we're better, I think, at times with Will in there just because of his experience. So it's taken some time to gel, and I really give our older players credit. They helped Kyle a lot this week to make him comfortable.
John, can you explain the thought process when they were running the clock down and getting the ball back with 23 seconds left?
Yeah, that was the one. You're trying to think of play ahead, and I mentioned to Quint, we were trying to, they were just doing such a good job at the X. They're so good there. We were trying to do some different things, and we were trying to get the message in, and we didn't feel comfortable that everybody was organized, so we burned that timeout, and I'd love to have it back. But we wanted to try to give ourselves the best, give us the best opportunity to win that. So we blew that timeout, and then just felt like, all right, do we double? Because if you miss it, you go down 2, and that's really hard, especially when you're not winning faceoff. So we rolled the dice a little bit. We knew we had 20 some odd seconds. We knew we had to go quickly. There's always the opportunity that maybe something happens earlier than that, and you maybe get it at 30 seconds. But that was one that, you don't have a lot of time, but I went back and forth with. And if you'd watched our last couple games when we doubled late against Hopkins, they did a good job against us. So we felt like, all right, we're going to go a little more conservative this week. And obviously, Kyle made a play to Jared. Certainly felt like we practiced those situations where we just got to go to the goal, and the guys showed some poise there.
Curtis, what did you kind of think of the work that Danny had in the cage?
I mean, you look at the stats, 15 saves, like that's just insane. And, even in the clear game, like he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's hitting the ball to the right guy, and I just feel like he at times bails out. On the doorstep, especially with 32. Right on the doorstep. Dolan does his due diligence in the film room, and he's just an amazing player.
Coach, talk about West Janik seemed to really change the energy of the game. Can you talk about that as the counter to what Woodall was doing at the face?
Yeah, Tyler Barbridge does a great job with our face-off guys, and Alex is so good. Obviously being over at Annapolis, knowing him a long time, I'm really proud of him. You could see his investment this year has really paid off. I mean, just a dominant player. And we tried, and there were some moments where we actually won a few. The problem is we won a few faceoffs, and then we had some silly turnovers, and it's almost like we gave it right back to him. But Wes, it's funny. Wes was a guy that his motor is so it's hard to describe. He's a guy that even after practice he'll do extra sprints. He just goes. He's excellent off the ground. He's small. He's stocky. He's strong. So Ty felt like it could be a good matchup, and he really didn't face off until this year. And obviously, you have a senior that's willing to change his position and maybe give up some of his defensive runs to face off. And you're just really proud of a guy in that moment to have that memory, and for all the other guys to see, hey, it's whatever the team needs.
Luke, looked like the first guy you ran up and kind of left in the air with was Danny Dolan. Was that fitting considering, you know, he kept you guys in the game the whole time and then, you know, you ended there.
Yeah, it seems like Danny keeps us in every game. But yeah, I think 15 saves, like Kurt said, unbelievable. Just a couple of ridiculous saves, keeping us in it, just fighting. And, you know, he's meant so much to this team, just kind of how much he loves the game, how much time he puts in. So he's the guy, you know, we're talking all week, hey, we're not done yet. And, you know, I just keep thinking about him. He texted me before the game. He's like, don't be nervous, just go out there and play, have fun. And so he's been kind of a guy that I look up to and how he's handled his business. And I mean, I know how much this means to him. So to be able to win that game for him and just know how much, how big he's been for us all year was special.
Curtis, you talked all year about your experience with these guys. What does it mean to you to have another week with them?
I'm just smiling, you know? I think I've said it in like almost every interview I've had coming down the stretch here, especially after losing to you know, Hopkins. Just having another week with these guys is just amazing, you know? Like, I'm never gonna play with these freshmen ever again, or these sophomores, or these juniors, or these seniors. So, you know, just embracing the moments that we have together, whether it be in the locker room right now with what they're doing. But, you know, every second with this group is just amazing. I really love this group. You know, Lewis will say the same thing. This group is definitely special. I think we have the right guys. Some people may not, but we're a very funny group.
John, given the way the first half unfolded, the possession difference, were you feeling okay down two at the break? And did you feel like just as long as you could keep it within one or two, you guys had a chance to just kind of?
Yeah, I felt like we weathered that storm. At 7-3, you know, it was like they had all the momentum. And listen, looking at the last couple games, you know, when we got down, and listen, that was something that we discussed. I did not do a good job in those last two games, and you know, I needed to do a better job with those guys when things didn't go well. But we talked about positive energy and guys sticking together and making the next play. Our bench was awesome. These guys were terrific. There was no doubt that we were going to keep plugging and make some plays. And get the thing back. Now, would we win? I don't know, but like we were just telling the defense, hang in there, because their formula is very similar to Hopkins. Long possessions, grind us down, right, and grind and grind and grind, and it makes it really hard on the offensive end because if you have quick possessions, you don't know like when you're going to see the ball again, and that was like we kept just telling the offensive guys, you know, when in doubt, okay, let's at least buy a little time, let them catch their breath, and then we can't get too conservative. I do think they went a little zone, which actually allowed us to possess the ball a little bit more, so that helped too. But I felt like we were fighting uphill all game long because Alex is so good in the middle of the field, and they just did a great job with ball possession.
Lou, third generation lacrosse player in this program, down to possibly your final moments if things don't go your way. What are your emotions in that situation when you score that goal?
Yeah, you know, all games kind of kicking myself. I could have had a couple more, but I mean, you can't say enough about Jared making that play at the end, Kyle coming down, defense. I mean, you know, Danny doesn't make a couple of those saves and that moment doesn't happen. You know, just for it to happen and you know, this program means so much to me and play on this field so many times up here, whether it was summer ball or, you know, just coming up here. You know, I grew up playing in Baltimore. It's special, a moment I'll never forget. And it wouldn't happen without these guys, without these coaches. You know, this week we kind of felt it like we had something special going, and you know, just looking back on it and seeing the guys fight and standing on the sideline and watching Jared score that goal, like that moment I'll never ever forget. And then for me, it was weird. I kind of had a feeling somewhere. I grew up, I guess, playing with down in Montgomery County, and a lot of these guys that I played with go to Towson. So I guess I don't know if it was fitting or whatever, but it's a moment I'll never forget. But credit these guys; they battled their butts off, and you know, without Jared's play, without Danny's saves, without Kurt's ground balls, without Wes coming in, that moment doesn't happen.
John, you've been a part of a lot of games that have had unlikely outcomes. Do any stand out, or how does this compare in your memory to others?
It's hard to say one's more important than the other. Certainly it's the most recent, right? So it's right now the most important because it's another week with these guys, and the train keeps rolling, and we talk about it all the time. The hardest thing with the season is these guys, we are all going so fast. Like, they're busy with their schoolwork. We're putting a lot of time in. We're breaking down film. We're doing everything. And the hard part when you lose that last game is everything stops, and it's the emptiest feeling in the world. So, you know, we tried to use that as motivation this week, like we just gotta keep this thing kind of rolling. We took a hard look inside at, you know, every aspect of the program, what we could do individually. Obviously made some strategic changes with personnel. You know, I thought, you know, Kyle did a great job today. Kyle Long just helped us, gave us a little bit of a boost. We changed some schematics. And obviously you're happy that things worked out. Certainly a lot to work on, but to get another week with these guys is special. I know for these guys, this is it. So we're gonna bust our butt all week. Virginia's an awesome team. We're gonna have our work cut out for us, but we're gonna enjoy obviously this week and doing everything we can to go up to Long Island and obviously have a good showing.
A couple more, Coach.
Curtis, how harrowing were the last 24 seconds or so as you're watching that play in regulation unfold?
That was amazing. You know, I'm just kind of sitting in the middle of the clear. I watched Kyle catch that, just go right down to Jared, right in. No, I thought it was amazing. You know, and then Lewis with his finish. I just thought the offense, when they got the ball, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew their looks. It was just getting the offense the ball was the tough part. You know, Alex in the middle of the field was really good today. You know, look at his stats; he's always really good. And I just thought that, you know, our offense just really canned the looks that they had to can today, and it was just amazing to watch.
Anything else, guys? All right, thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.